Hello everyone, my name is Thomas Diaz, and this is my exploratory presentation. This presentation will be on modern and medieval lifestyles and how they differ from one another. The 21st century blends the events of the past and creates a vibrant culture around the world. But what makes the 21st century unique compared to the other time periods? A couple of things are the expectations and assumptions we have on life. Currently, we expect to live in a safe environment free of harm and injustice. We created laws and an occupation to enforce those laws equally. We expect to have access to food, water, and shelter, and we assume that it will continue throughout our lives. In many countries, we expect to marry a person of our choosing, whether it be a man or woman, as long as there is love, it is possible with few exceptions. We assume that we will continue to uphold a peace between nations and be free of war. And with new advancements to technology and medicine, we expect to have a longer lifespan to enjoy our time with our loved ones. When comparing the 21st century to the medieval period, one of the categories that sticks out are the changes to occupations. Most of the occupations during the medieval period were manual labor jobs, some that required a significant number of workers. With the introduction of technology such as the production line and tractors, many of the manual labor jobs needed less workers, and some jobs were even phased out. New jobs required a high level of education and replaced many of the missing occupations like astronauts and pilots. The 21st century provides new rules and regulations to protect workers from getting hurt. They also ensure quality products that won't harm the consumer and regulations on manufacturing facilities to reduce the negative effects of production like pollution. Many of the medieval occupations changed as a result of the regulations and technology. A couple of them are farming and craftsmen. Farming was a labor-intensive job with many hands to harvest, plant, and store crops. New inventions reduced the number of workers required and made it easier with machines. Craftsmen were specialized workers who dabbled in masonry, blacksmithing, and tailoring, to name a couple. But with the invention of the production line, there were no longer any need for these individuals. Over the years, the purpose of marriage has taken on a new meaning. The medieval marriages focused on strategic reasoning with the goal of bettering both families. These marriages were often arranged by their parents who sought benefits such as respect, diplomacy, or money from each other. These families would turn to matchmakers or ask friends for advice on the matter. In certain regions, marriages were also prohibited. The purpose was to keep the bloodline pure and to stop foreigners from entering their society. India, for instance, had a caste system which separated individuals into different classes. Intermarriage between the classes was prohibited. Europe, on the other hand, whose social structure was feudalism, the serfs would have to pay a fee to the lord of the land to marry. There are many differences in modern marriages, where the focus and expectations of marriage are out of love for one another. The marriages between races and even genders are allowed in several countries and are not truly controlled by their parents. Another difference between medieval and 21st century civilizations are the families. In modern civilizations, the bond between families is weakening. We no longer see the solidarity that we once held onto strongly, and in its place is isolation. Male dominance among families is also weakening. Women now obtain a high level education and high paying jobs, and social norms have changed to find equality between men and women. Laws were put into place to stop children from working at a young age and have them focus more on education. The way we attain status and wealth is also different. They are obtainable through hard work and social interactions, creating connections. In medieval society, they had a strong sense of solidarity and often pooled their resources together. The resources would then be used by the male head of the family to better their family circumstances. Marriage held a significant role in medieval society, and birthing a son became the priority as they would support the family. Religion had one of the most significant changes between the medieval period and modern period. During the medieval period, religion took a strong role in society, which appealed to peasants and nobility. The religious organizations had a strong place in government, creating rules that favored themselves. Religion also took place in education. The class was theology, which had topics which related science to faith. Depending on the civilization, the followers of certain religions were tolerated or discriminated against. For example, the Mongols tolerated other religions because of their main priority, which was loyalty from its subjects. Countless battles and wars broke out between religions, some over territory, and some from dislike of other religions. These battles or wars could be like the Crusades. In the 21st century, religion has less power and there's a separation between religion and government. Although tensions between religion has decreased, there are still battles, but many countries have adopted the freedom of religion. Religion is also losing followers as there is a growing number of people who are becoming agnostic or atheistic. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'm grateful for any advice you have for me. I'd also like to state that the 21st century opinions were based around American society, and some of the ideas may differ from other 21st century countries.